Whether it's hurricanes, wildfires, earthquakes, and around here, tornadoes, being properly prepared in the event of a disaster can save lives. We've seen that. September was National Preparedness Month. Just because it's now October, it's no less of an important conversation to have. For that, let's welcome in Marianne Adams from OnStar. James Bell is the head of consumer affairs for GM. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Thank you.
So let's start with these major steps. What should we do to prepare for a disaster?
As you indicated, there are three major steps that you can take to be prepared for a disaster. You certainly want to be aware of the different types of disasters that can hit your community. Like you said, if it's tornadoes or flooding or severe storms or even winter weather, you want to take those steps to be prepared for each type of disaster. The other thing you want to do is make weather a part of your daily life. When you get up in the morning, what's the weather going to be? Are you prepared for that weather? Do you need to alter your plans? Check the weather during the day. Do you need to leave work early to avoid a potential, getting caught up in the bad weather? And check it again at night before you go to sleep. Because if the weather's going to be so bad the next day, the best thing probably to do is to stay home. And if you can alter your plans, do that. And finally, you want to create a family communications plan. It's important because oftentimes disasters will happen when families are separated. So you're at work, your kids are at school, or they're at daycare. How are you going to communicate with each other? How are you going to let each other know that you're okay? So if you walk through that and you have that written down and you practice that with your family, then you're going to be more prepared to communicate with each other and let each other know that you're safe during a disaster.
James, and then what about our cars? What do you think we should think about when it comes to preparedness in our vehicles?
Yeah, today's vehicles are so reliable and durable that we forget there are certain things that are on board that need our attention as drivers. There are things that are designed to wear out or to be replaced. Key amongst these are windshield washer fluids and the wipers. As we start to get into weather where maybe clearing off some ice or road grime or different things like that, not just water that we see in the summertime, it's really important to have good wipers and good washer fluid on board. Another one is the tires. And tire pressure has an impact on safety, but also fuel efficiency. So these are hints to help save some money for you as well. Proper air pressure, inflation, also the tires themselves. Make sure that the tread depth is safe and correct. If not, get rid of those tires and replace them, especially before we get too deep into the winter months. And the last one is the battery. The big shift, seasonal shift in temperature from hot to cold really has a big impact on a battery. And so you want to have that tested. If it doesn't meet spec, replace it as soon as you can. You don't want to be stuck on the side of the road and going to turn the key and think, I should have done that back when it was a nice day.
No kidding. Any items that you think most of us overlook as we're preparing those emergency kits that we're throwing in the trunk?
Yeah, well, we've got a kit here that is really set up more for a home, but we've got some bags along the side here which are what we think are about the right size for your car-based kit. And one of them is we travel with our pets a lot these days, so we've got some extra dog food on board. Obviously, the dog could eat the human food if necessary, but this is what they're looking for and has the proper nutrition for them. Another one is any medications. If anybody in the vehicle has diabetes that they need to address on a regular basis, or maybe heart medication they need to take, have that with you. Don't think, well, we'll be home in a couple hours, because if a catastrophe happens, it may be more than a couple hours, maybe a couple of days before you get in. So you want to have those ready so you avoid any sort of medical emergencies.
This is so smart.
And the last one is if power is compromised, the banking network may not be the same. You may not be able to use your ATM card to make a purchase the way we're so used to. So having some cash on board, keeping it in a waterproof bag like this, just in case you are stuck out on the road for any amount of time, and you need to get new supplies, where you're going to want to cash to make that purchase.
We are just about out of time here, but there's a prepare-a-thon, and I want to make sure our viewers know how they can participate in that if they wish.
You can participate anytime in America's Prepare-a-thon, and the best way to find out about it is to go to FEMA's website. It's www.ready.gov, and you can sign up and officially participate, or you don't even need to sign up. The point is to get the word out and get you to get started in preparing for any disaster that may hit your area.
Marianne, thank you, and James, good to see you again.
Good. Look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike?